Hi everyone, I'm Chris from UK A Cappella Society. Today I'm going to be talking about a subject which can cause a bit of debate between members of a new group. When's the right time to move from the rehearsal room to the stage for your first public performance? Before we get into too many details, it's important to remember that the answer is going to be different for every group. If you're a new group made of experienced performers, you might build to your first performance very quickly. If you're a very casual group who just enjoy hanging out and singing together in your front room, then you might not even plan on scheduling in any gigs at all, and that's fine, although most groups find that it's nice to have something to aim for. In addition, although I'll be outlining a vague order in which to think about these things, in reality you should be trying to take into consideration all of these elements throughout the whole decision process because they all inform each other. Okay, so you've decided that you want to plan a gig. The first thing to think about is how fast are you building your repertoire? This will depend on how often you rehearse and how productive you find those rehearsals to be. But the most important thing is that you're honest with yourself about how quickly you're going to build your rep. It doesn't matter if your group is progressing at lightning speed or if you're taking your time over each piece that you learn, because there are loads of different types of performance and you're bound to find something that suits you, but you need to find out what that's going to be early on so that it doesn't cause panic later down the line. How long does it take to get a song ready to be performed? Well, obviously it's hard to pinpoint the exact moment at which a piece is ready to be unleashed on the public, but a lot of groups will fall into the trap of trying to get a song absolutely perfect. This is live a cappella, and even groups who have been singing together for years and years and years rarely get a song spot on every single time it's performed. Instead, I suggest you try and get your pieces to a point where you feel you can really perform them, by which I mean you really feel comfortable using them to put on a show. Singing is meant to be entertaining, after all, and often you reach this point much sooner than people realise. As cliched as it sounds, if you're at the point where you really enjoy singing an arrangement, then chances are it may be ready to be performed. So, what different types of performances are available to a new group? Well, I would broadly say there are three categories: the short set, the long set, and busking. The short set is perfect for newer singers or groups who don't necessarily have a lot of time to rehearse. You simply find a pre-existing opportunity and you sing a few songs. This could be as a warm-up act for another performer or simply a spot at your local village fete. There are a huge number of different opportunities out there. Now, this type of performance is really good because it provides you with a deadline to work to, but it doesn't necessarily involve all the in-depth planning that a longer gig would involve. But even if you have huge ambitions as a group, don't discount small gigs like this. They can be a really good way for you to start building an audience so that later down the line you can put on your own longer gigs. The long set is a performance that usually lasts at least 40 minutes and with you as the headline act. It can be a really good way to burst onto your local music scene, but it does require more planning than the shorter set would. It can be a very good way for you to really accelerate the rate at which your group improves musically, but it does require that you already have a solid base of an audience who will come and see you. This often makes it a really good choice for new university groups who will often have easier or cheaper access to performance spaces and already have a lot of friends in the area who will make up their first audiences. The final option to consider is busking. Busking can be a really good way to combine rehearsals with performance and gives you a great way to test out new ideas without that added pressure of having a fee-paying audience. As long as you check on the rules in your local area for busking, you can often busk for hours at a time with only a few songs in your repertoire because your audience are just constantly moving on. Busking can also be used in the lead up to another gig, and if you have this opportunity, I really recommend it. It's really important that you match the types of performances that you give with the ethos of your group. More than anything, make sure that you're all on the same page about the types of performances that you want to give and when you feel ready to start doing it. Doing that can save you a lot of hassle down the road. And we haven't even had time to mention some of the other ways that your group can start getting your music out there, like videos. We'll be talking about that another time. As you can see, there are lots of different things to consider when you're planning your first performance as a group, and it can seem overwhelming at first, but once you've done that first gig, you definitely won't regret it. I hope you found something useful in this video for your new group, and I'll see you soon.